All right, today's tire day. We're gonna head in here and get these Falcon Wild Peaks put on. Decided to go with the 265/70/17. So excited to put these things on. We'll see how the tires work out and how they fit. Wild Peaks. Yeah, right. That was never gonna happen. As soon as he rolled that tire up there next to the wheel well, yeah, hey, not happening. So immediately, I went ahead and went online. I've been researching lifts. I've been going back and forth between MFC and Hazard Sky and Rough Country and trying to decide what to get. And that day I decided, let's go ahead and get a Hazard Sky 2-inch lift and level kit, because I really want to put some bigger tires on this thing. The 265/70/17s is kind of what I've targeted the Falcon Wild Peak. So what got me wanting the more ground clearance to start with was we had our trip where we went out on the White Rim Road, and that 3-day trip, and it did fine. There was plenty of ground clearance for all of that. I think we scraped one time, but then at the end of that, we ended up driving over to Moab and hitting up fins and things. Yes, it can do fins and things stock. Do you want to? Not really. I know I was nervous the whole time. I'm thinking, I'm going to tear this up. I'm going to tear this up. I just needed more. I need more ground clearance, honestly. So we've already done the pinch weld mod. So I was trying to just start off with bigger tires. I need new tires. I'm still running the Destination all-terrains, and I've got 70,000+ miles on them. So the lift came today. So come tomorrow, we're gonna go ahead and put the lift on. I'm gonna install that tomorrow at the shop, and then we're gonna get some new tires on, and then we're gonna hit the trails again. I went ahead and took some footage driving off-road a little bit before we put the lift on. I'm gonna do some footage in the exact same spot and try to get the exact same angle after we get the lift on, so we can see the difference of pre-lift, post-lift, off-road a little bit. So that'll come up at the end of the video, and that's what I want to know. So stay tuned. Alright, before we get started on the lift here, I want to get a few measurements because I want to see exactly how much lift we end up getting out of this. So I'm going to start. I've got a little bit of a chart here so I can write down the measurements before and then after. So we're going to start with right here from the ground, the wheel well. That's 32 1/4. That's looking like 9 inches in the front. The muffler, 11. 33 1/4. In the middle, looks like 11 1/2. So, there's our measurements. See what we get after we put this lift on. Ta-da. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we need to remove the knuckle bolt, which sits back. Boy. There you go. It's right here. Goes through. Where's my finger? Right there. Alright, so this is, you need the E14 along with an 18 mil. There's where your E-Torque's gonna go on. And that is tight. Tell you what, you wanna have your big boy pants on when you're doing this one. There we go. This kind of stuff comes off easy for people on camera. Just cut to the, oh, it's off. Look how easy. Why are you having trouble? Yeah. Nice. All right. Now to the next step. We got our block, our spacer. We're gonna separate the knuckle here. There we go. Let's see. Let's look like. There we go. Really didn't need a hammer or do anything like that. Just needed to push. Yeah, that's not bad. All right. Spacer's in. Now, probably that needs to come out. All right, now I need to, where we remove the bolt, that knuckle bolt, we're gonna have to drill it out a little, make room for the new one. So now we're right in here. There's a flange plate there that we need to drill through. It's supposed to be pretty thin, not supposed to be too hard to drill out. So let's see what we can do here. Alright, now that we played around with that for a while, get our bolt in here. Get it cranked down. You'll make sure you get this bolt torqued down at 89. Let's see. So 89 foot-pounds. One on this. Right there. Alright. Now we remove that. Spacer. And we're going to put our collar on. I'm only using one. Get that down low. And, you know, every time I do anything mechanical, I realize that you got to have patience. Because things never go as smooth as you'd like. Collar, you're just supposed to get good and snug, hand tighten. Alright. Got that. Now, let's, if we can slide this back a little. So that'll fit. Reattach. Alright, issues. So, biggest issues I had were really drilling out the flange. I had the wrong size drill Had the wrong size drill bit, so that took a little time. But all in all, yeah, that was the most difficult part. But there's what you're looking at when it's all done. And then we'll get the other side done and then put the tire back on. All right. Well, here we are again. So didn't get it all done in the first night. Ran out of time, so I got the front end lifted. Been driving around with that, which has been interesting for 2 days. And I'll say, you put just a 2-inch lift on the front, it fixes your light problem. I've been flashed like 3 times by oncoming traffic whenever I haven't had my bright lights on, which never has happened before, because if you own one of these, you know, not good headlights. But, oh, before I start, I'm going to hit up these gummy bears that Hazard Sky sent with them. I hear these are the best gummy bears you can possibly get. Oh, thank you, Hazard Sky. Oh, good. Not bad. So we're ready to get started now. Those gummy bears were just as good as everybody said they were going to be. The coffee's hot. And we're ready to start by getting this spring off. So, always need coffee. So, I went to AutoZone and I checked out the spring compressors, but I'm not really fond of using these. So we're going to do it a little bit different. So we're going to remove the lower control arm and we're going to get the spring out that way. So let's get after it. So we'll remove this bolt here, and that's going to be an 18 millimeter. Before we can remove that bolt, we're going to need to compress the spring by putting a floor jack under here. Alright, now that we got the spring compressed, we're going to go ahead and remove the bolt, and then we'll be able to lower the jack and we'll be able to get that spring out. Alright, here we go. Need one more bolt out, and then we'll be able to lower it. And this one's 16 mil. Alright, now we got to lower the jack a little bit to release the pressure off there. Too far. There we go. Alright, now we are ready to release all the tension off of that spring, and then we can just pop it right out. Alright, you just push down, it'll come right out. There we go. To me, it seems like the safest way to do it. Alright, now we got to put together our spacers on it and our set screw, and we'll throw it back on. Along with the hole in it, the actual metal one, it's going to go on the bottom. And this hole here is going to be facing towards the inside of the vehicle. We got a little set screw here. The set screw is going to go into the lower isolator, right into that hole right there.
and they provide you with a little Allen wrench. You want to get it in there snug, but you don't want to crank it down so hard that you pop through this isolator, so you'll feel it whenever it starts to hit the end. Right there. Alright, right there. Alright. Now, let's take this back over. Get everything lined up. So, gotta see the hole right here. That's where this hole is going to line up. That set screw will go through this, right down in the hole that's already there. All right. First thing we're going to do though is we're going to clean this up a little. All right. That goes on the bottom, and the hard plastic piece is going to go right up here. Alright, now we're going to jack this back up with the floor jack, and that'll put the tension back in the spring. Then we can put our bolts back in. Alright, then you go ahead and once you've released the tension, you kind of got to work with it a little bit to get that lower control arm in. Put that nut back on. Now that we got that tightened up, I'm going to try to get our bolt back in here. Once again, you kind of got to just work with it to get it. Ooh, close. Very close. Woo! Nailed it. Alright. I'll throw a little Loctite on it. Alright. Let's release it. Let's release it, see what we got. Well, nothing sounded like it broke. It's always a plus. Alright, let's take a look at the finished product. Now we just gotta put the tire back on, do the other side, and we'll get our measurements, see what we got out of this lift. Moment I've been waiting on. See what we've got. All right, back of the muffler. At the muffler in the rear, we've got 13, it's like and a half. Right down the middle, we've got like 13 3/4 up to 35 and a half. $34 and a quarter. Looks like 11 even. Alright, so anybody that wanted to see, here's the final dimensions after the lift is installed. Hazard Sky 2-inch lift. So just trying to get a little pre-lift footage so we can kind of see what it's gonna. Yeah, that's fine. So we can see what it looks like before it's raised and after. And then when you.
Which way are you going?
Hi. That way.
Hi. Hi.
Okay. Walk with your brother.
Hi, camera.
Hi, camera.
I want to go that way.
Okay, so this is what it looks like before the lift is put on, and then we'll do it after it's on. So. Have the ground clearance of it.
You don't take the wheels on?
Not yet, but we will.
The back wheels are enough. The those ones are bigger than those. The back wheels are bigger than those.
Well, if you stuck with me through all of this, I appreciate it. It's a long video, but hopefully that gives you an idea of how to do the lift and what you'll get out of the lift. So, one last little view of it with the lift on now. So. I think it turned out pretty good. And hey, if you liked the video, if it was helpful for you, hit that thumbs up button, give it a like, and hey, consider subscribing. Appreciate it.